Hello and welcome to Dystopian Report, the place where we talk about our nightmare world. Today we're going to be talking about DEI, DEIA, federal firings, and our old friends in Eastasia. For the longest time now we've heard about DEI, this concept of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And, well, we've had it served up as an explanation for why bridges have collapsed and why planes have fallen out of the sky, and those of us who are savvy, we always know what the far right is whinging about when they talk about diversity hires, as my cat comes upstairs. See, they're talking about the idea that anyone other than a straight white man is unqualified for a job. Yes, it's racist. And yes, they want to fire anyone who fits this profile. Let's take a look at this image of an email sent out to NASA, the space agency. This image comes to us from Michael E. Mann. Michael E. Mann at bluesky.social. I always say bluesky.social. I mean bsky.social, but, you know, go figure. And his comment on this, by the way, is, your papers are not in order, NASA, and I find that interesting. So, dear agency employee, we're taking steps to close all agency DEIA offices and end all DEIA-related contracts in accordance with President Trump's executive orders entitled Ending Radical and Wasteful Government DEI Programs and Preferencing Initial Rescissions of Harmful Executive Orders and Actions. That is a mouthful. Papers are not in order indeed. These programs divided Americans by race, wasted taxpayer dollars, and resulted in shameful discrimination. I'm sure they did, pal. It goes on because so far I've talked about, you know, this program and DEI and DEIA, and I haven't explained what's the A, because the keen-eyed among you noticed they've added another letter. You know, like how we've always been at war with Eastasia. Accessibility means that anyone who needs accommodations under laws like the Americans with Disabilities Act, and it suggests that they too were not hired based on their merit or skills, but because of some diversity quota or some need to fit a certain number of people in a slot that look a certain type of way or have a certain type of need or gender or what have you. This might mean the employee in question is neurodivergent or has a physical injury or some other disability which theoretically might impact their work, even if it doesn't. So it gets worse, because of course it does. We are aware of efforts, they say, by some in government to disguise these programs using coded or imprecise language. If you are aware of a change in any contract description or personal position description since November 5th, 2024, that's the election, to obscure the connection between the contract and DEIA or similar ideologies, please report all facts and circumstances to DEIA truth at opm.gov within 10 days. Yes, they made that email address inadvertently, at least public. They say there will be no adverse consequences for timely reporting this information. However, failure to report this information within 10 days may result in adverse consequences. That's a threat. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Janet Petro. It doesn't say her job title. I don't really care about her job title. So, as you may have observed, just as fast as they can apply a letter, the government is marching in lockstep to attack all of these people as if they are not, well, deserving of their jobs. Because of DEIA, not just DEI, which came after CRT was popular, which, you know, is really just another way to say they don't like black, brown, indigenous, people of color, people of different races, people of different ethnicities, people of different genders, of languages, of sexualities, of religions, of disability needs. You get my point, right? So they've also gone on to insist that you give information about your employees and their contracts, or you could be held accountable. Or your coworkers' contracts, or you will be held accountable. So just keep in mind that when the government talks about discrimination now, they're not talking about discrimination against minorities. They're talking about discrimination against straight white men who deserve, wink, the jobs that they get. You know, like an alcoholic who has no formal defense staff training getting to be the Secretary of Defense because he's white and super Christian. Like, he has Dave's Volt tattooed on, which is just... A, I don't think you're supposed to get tattoos according to the Bible. I've heard arguments about that. And B, either way, he's got multiple Christian nationalist tattoos that suggest he's a gang member. I thought we were against gang members, but I'm getting into the weeds. I want to thank you all so much for joining me for this little discussion. If you enjoy discussions like these, and I mean enjoy in the sense that you find them informative and helpful, not in the sense that you're like, oh my god, this is great news, then please feel free to like, share, subscribe, friend, follow, or whatever this channel. I really do appreciate all your support. Thank you all, and I hope you have a better day than this nightmare world that we are living in as of these days. Thank you all so much for joining me, and as always on this channel, pieces.